Welcome to the cave for some Mishawaka Network Penn versus Mishawaka Wrestling. I'm Daniel Phillips alongside Matt Rendell. We're here to bring this event to you, an event that all the wrestlers and fans of the community look forward to yearly. They face each other, individual wrestlers, throughout the state tournament and Al Smith. But this matchup between the two teams, it counts towards your regular season record, and it means a lot. So looking forward to this one. It should be a good matchup. Obviously, these two teams, if you're not aware, aren't at their peaks. They're not at their peaks right now. They're not extremely healthy, but they're still here to compete. And we're looking forward to seeing what the result is at the end of the night.
Yeah, right now we're watching some JV wrestling. I see Jordan. He's in my class down there wrestling right now. I think that's Matt over there, Matt Rice. But we're not going to have graphics and all that. Right now they're going to do JV on both mats. When they are done, they're going to consolidate to one mat for varsity. Only boys tonight. Girls are already in tournament play, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. So they are done for the season in terms of duels, right? They are now on to regionals this coming weekend. But we are excited for this match. We did wrestling Saturday. What was that on Saturday? Friday, excuse me. That was a weird Friday morning.
Yeah. And it was Christmas break towards the end and stuff like that, confusion. But that Friday, the 3rd of January, it was the first ever girls IHSAA sectional championship. You and I got to call that, do commentary for it. And it was pretty great. 4 Mishawaka wrestlers won first place in sectionals, which is pretty cool. They're moving on to regionals, and some others got 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and so on. So it was a fun one, and it was history, so it was fun to call.
Yeah, I mean, it was an exciting event. What you noticed was you saw some things that you don't see necessarily at the boys, which is a lot more penalties, clasping hands, things like that, because there's some inexperienced wrestling, but also some very good wrestling. Some of these girls were just so talented. We saw it with a couple of those winners, but kind of every school did pretty well. We saw some surprise schools to us because they're schools that we don't see a lot. Triton did awesome. They were really good. You saw Mishawaka and Penn obviously do very well. Penn won the sectional as they are sending a lot on to regionals. But Mishawaka, 4 winners, all in those lighter weight classes, is an impressive showing in the first year.
Yeah, it was a remarkable thing to see. Coach Yancey Grayless has done a phenomenal job just picking up this program in his first year. First ever sanctioned IHSAA sectional. Pretty cool. And like we said, Mishawaka, as the Mishawaka Network, obviously, it was pretty cool to see 4 Mishawaka wrestlers win first place there. So like you said, they're moving on to regionals this Saturday. Where is that going to be taking place?
That's going to be out of Goshen. So Goshen has the girls regional. And while we're talking about the boys sectional will still be here at Mishawaka. So that'll be coming up at the end of this month. And change, though, the regional, which is always, we actually broadcasted a few times over at Penn. The regional will not be at Penn this year. They'll be in Rochester. So we will not be going to Rochester to broadcast that. But it's going to be an exciting night. It's always exciting. The fireworks always come with Mishawaka Penn. But as you talked about it, we looked at the lineups, which could change a little bit for the most part, are set. A number of subs on both teams, both Penn and Mishawaka. We talked to both coaches, and they both said it. Hey, we're down. We got sickness and some injuries, and we'll see some of that as we go through the night.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, you can kind of see your screen right now. You can't see much, but obviously you can tell if you're a member of this community that the Penn team has a lot more bodies than the Mishawaka team, and that's obviously going to play a part in this matchup, this dual meet tonight. But we'll just have to see. I mean, Mishawaka is known as a program that has a lot of grit, has a lot of fight and success. They just won a state championship 2 seasons ago. So we'll have to see. But we talked about it with both coaches. Coach Brad Harper, head coach at Penn High School, said it especially. This rivalry, over 50 years, just means a lot to the community, and it's something that people show up and show out for.
Well, and there's so many connection points. You have kids that went to Penn schools and now are in Mishawaka and vice versa, right? You have kids that wrestled together since they were kids and they're friends. Will Mason talked about it. He's a great wrestler for Mishawaka. He's really good friends with a lot of these Penn kids, and that's sometimes hard and sometimes fuels your passion a little bit, right? It's a challenge, but these are people that live by us, right? Like, I mean, the Penn and Mishawaka families are friends, right? They live by each other. It's such a close group, and then Penn just grew in such a big school over time. We could go into the history of it, but it's just such an interesting dynamic. how close these schools are for how big they are.
Right, and one cool connection that sticks out to me is the Harper family in Mishawaka High School Wrestling.
Yep.
Coach Brad Harper, he was a wrestler here at Mishawaka, probably one of the best in the school's history. Family member of his, Josh Harper, one of the best wrestlers also here at Mishawaka, went on to wrestle at Michigan State and so on. So the Harper family is, obviously dominated the Michiana wrestling community for years now, so
right.
Which is pretty cool. And the connection between these two is just
well,
awesome.
I mean, you and I have talked, you're going to see a Harper wrestling tonight. We talked about like Wesley Harper and that Brad Harper, like you said, obviously went to Mishawaka, had like a huge, really good career wrestling here at Mishawaka. And now he's having what we looked up, an insane career coaching over at Penn. So he ended up, Brad Harper was the class of 1999. We looked at it yesterday. He finished in 7th place at state, 7th place, 1st place, and then 2nd place in his senior year. I mean, those are huge results. To be a freshman getting 7th, sophomore getting 7th, winning state title, and then getting 2nd. I mean, that's almost unprecedented, right?
Yeah,
like you're
I
talking
agree.
about an elite type of wrestler, and now he's been coaching at Penn, and his record, according to Indiana Matt. So again, all this information we're getting from Indiana Matt. They do such a great job. We want to make sure to shout them out. You can check out their website. They do a great job. But 317 and 87 as a coach. So 317 wins at Penn and one other school. But for the most part, most of those are at Penn, and only 87 losses. So just built up a really great program. And sometimes you get jealous of that, right? And Mishawaka's had a great history of wrestling, and they've really come back the last few years after being up and down for a little bit. So we'll see how this goes tonight. You just never know. You got new wrestlers on both sides, and sometimes the energy gets a hold of you.
100%. And like you said, energy, the fans get really into it. Every single year. My first experience as a freshman in 2022, that winter, I was here just running the camera at first. For a Penn Mishawaka dual meet, and it was electric for sure. It was amazing how crazy the crowd gets, how excited they get when a wrestler for their school gets a win over a Penn or Mishawaka wrestler. It's just really cool to watch, and like they were both saying, big thing for the community. But obviously, it's kind of disappointing that these two teams aren't at full health, because if you're not at full health, then you're not competing your best, And that's exactly what we want to see, especially with a big matchup like this.
Yeah, and then for Mishawaka, they're coached by Steve Standifer. He's a great wrestler at Mishawaka, but also obviously now a great coach. You see him, he's running the JV matches over here, getting people in the right spots. But as a wrestler, you're talking about somebody as a freshman 45-3, sophomore 47-5, 46-2, 45-1, 183-11 in his Mishawaka career. Finished as a qualifier, then 5th place, and then 2 first-place finishes. All the while also playing rugby.
It's wild.
I think for Penn, but he was playing for the U.S. national team. I mean, this is a all-caliber athlete, and he's still got it. You see him over there. He's not somebody you want to mess with. He'll put you in a hold, and you're done. So there's a pin for Mishawaka. But then as a coach, he came back to Mishawaka, tried to help revive the program. They were kind of up and down. They had some good wrestlers, some good moments. But he came back to Mishawaka and was able to kind of put it all together and really help Mishawaka get some great accolades. A number of state title individual winners. They won the team state last year. And so they're just putting together really good seasons. And then you have these wrestlers here, pretty young, honestly. They don't have many seniors in the lineup. Trey Dunning, the really only notable senior wrestling tonight. And then you have some great wrestlers that are juniors, a couple sophomores, and then a stellar freshman at 106 who you'll see first tonight in Nick Freeze.
Yeah, so still quite the lineup, despite the health issues.
Absolutely, yeah.
Still quite the lineup on both sides, really.
Well, and you're going to see these two teams really dominate that boys sectional here. This sectional, I was talking to Coach Josh Olson, one of the assistant coaches. He's right upstairs from me, and he said, this Mishawaka sectional used to be a juggernaut. Used to have big teams. I mean, he talked about in the early, late 2000s up until 2010, teams like Clay were dominating, and Riley, and some of those. And really, you don't see a lot of that anymore. Obviously, Clay doesn't even exist anymore.
Right.
But Adams hasn't been able to put it together. Riley has a few kids that they end up getting pretty far, and they've got a few really good kids again this year. But Mishawaka and Penn, you'll see a lot of third, fourth, third, second, and first place winners.
Right, yeah, you'll see that a lot. These two teams we talked about the domination. We saw it now is translating to girls wrestling as well.
Absolutely.
Those two in the sectional. It was Penn, Mishawaka, and then somewhere along the way Plymouth and Triton, surprisingly.
Yep.
So it's quite interesting how these two teams so close together, but it seems like they're far apart. I mean, we talked about how a lot of these wrestlers and other athletes throughout the sports in Mishawaka are friends with Penn athletes.
Yeah.
And, I mean, in season, obviously, it seems like they're far away, but in the summers, they're right next door to you. You're wrestling or playing basketball in club and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. We'll have to see that and more here on the Mishawaka Network. Once again, dual meet Penn, Mishawaka is an historic matchup every single year. We'll be back with the start of it here.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Forte Waterproofing is celebrating over 60 years of satisfied customers. Experience, innovation, hard work, confidence, pride, honesty, integrity, determined, committed to achieve excellence. Fix it with Forte, fix it for good.
Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
All right, welcome back to the K, where we still have some Penn Mishawaka JV matches going on. Simultaneously, we've got two at a time. But let's go ahead and shift our attention away from the direction of wrestling here. Let's talk about some more Mishawaka Network events that we have this week, starting with tomorrow's school board meeting, first of the calendar year. That's going to be pretty huge.
Yeah, well, and this year's a little bit different. They've cut down the number of school board meetings, so they're down to one a month now, and that's it. And so that's good. We can get them in and out and do okay. But so the first one will be tomorrow. I looked at the board docs. There's a couple interesting things if you want to tune in. Number one is they're going to be talking about the new Hums building. That's going to be a big one. That's going to be a big project coming up. So if you want to learn more about that, you can tune in. The second, what do we got Thursday? Thursday, we've got something.
Thursday, we've got girls basketball.
Okay.
They take on Elkhart Christian
That's
Academy.
right.
So make sure to tune into that one. I will not be on the call, but you
Yeah.
and Cam Stokes, one of our own,
Yeah.
will be calling that one. That'll be an interesting one. Girls trying to break their losing streak.
Well,
pretty
and
lengthy one.
they've had a really tough stretch here. They haven't played super well, and they know they need to stop turning the ball over. We talked about it last week, but if you can try to keep the turnovers down, that'll help them out. And this is a chance for them. They're about to hit some big hitters right tonight. They're actually at Penn, which is tough. Penn is very good.
They are.
And then they've got some NLC teams, Plymouth, Northridge, Warsaw. So lots of events coming up for them. So we'll see how they can do back at home against Elkhart Christian. my trivia, but Hunter Martzoff coming. He and I do trivia together. He's out at Elkhart Christian now working, so he's going to come out to the game Thursday. But then we're pulling double duty on Saturday.
Yeah, we are. It's going to be afternoon, night kind of ordeal type thing. It'll be fun for me, especially with using the voice quite a bit. We had that same thing on the 3rd with girls sectionals wrestling, as well as I think girls basketball tonight took on Bremen. So, but yeah, so Saturday in the afternoon, the girls will be playing a game here in the cave, and then that night at about 7:30, the boys will tip it off and compete as well. So we'll have a day full of basketball on Saturday. That'll be a fun one for me and basketball fans. So make sure to tune in if you are a basketball fan, especially a Caveman basketball fan. It's 2 programs that are really trying to get it back on track here. Coach Bodie Bender and Coach Justin Overholser. So
yeah, and we'll see how they can do. And that's a big week for us. And then obviously the whole month of January, we got lots of events coming up and lots of things going on. But all of that starts tonight here with wrestling against Penn. We're getting close, it looks like, to the end. Maybe a handful more matches, it looks like, or so of JV. And you can tell because Nick Freeze is up there pacing around. He's ready to go. I think we are starting at 106, which isn't always the case. They draw randomly.
Yeah.
You started that weight class in a dual meet. I think today I was standing up here when they did it, and everybody cheered. I think everybody likes when it starts at 106. That's kind of the normal progression for most people. So we are going to start at 106 here tonight, it looks like. Once we get to varsity action. That'll take a little bit. We'll have a special national anthem, it looks like we're going to have sung tonight. So exciting time, and we're in the cave. We don't always get wrestling in the cave.
Right. It's pretty cool to have this in the cave. I personally like it when we're in the cave here with wrestling. They usually do that with Penn, a lot of it because of how big it is and also because of how many people they've got, I believe. So that's the reason they have it in here. And it's a historic gym. We just had that 100-year game back on Saturday, Mishawaka and Northview.
Well, and I like that, and that was packed too. But if we can get some shots of the fans, I mean, you got lots of Penn fans across the way from us. We can't really tell the Mishawaka fans are right underneath us, and it's a little bit hard to tell. But I mean, it's just such a nice venue for it. It's really good for us being up high, right? You can see our camera angle where we're standing up here. We can kind of see the action a little bit better,
right?
And we're not in the way. Over in the West Gym, we're a little bit in the way because we're on that track there, and you never know, somebody could unplug us. All sorts of things could go wrong. So it's a nice, exciting event here tonight, and you see some Mishawaka fans there getting ready for some varsity wrestling. But it's just always such a fun. I mean, you see people, Vince D'Addario's over there. He works at Penn now. He worked for WSBT with us for a while, doing the broadcast. So just a really nice event. Lots of people here ready to cheer them on. And there's very few crowds that get quite as loud as the wrestling crowds do. If something exciting's happening, those wrestling crowds are really second to none, right? If you get in a big swim meet too, those people can get hyped too. But.
I had no idea that swim had that much following. I was like, wow. But it's pretty cool. I mean, we need these sports that people may kind of underestimate. We need people to come out and show up and show love.
Well, and we know the footballs and the basketballs and even the baseballs, but these are the Olympic sports, right? These are the ones that you can compete in the Olympics for. Wrestling, right? Swimming, right? Tennis. Those are kind of your sports that you don't think about until you see the Olympics. You're like, man, this is exciting. Right? This is fun. Volleyball, I think of that way, right? It's such an exciting sport. And now you've got these professional volleyball teams. Indianapolis is getting one now. Grand Rapids has one. I'm going in March to St. Louis to see professional women's hockey game.
Really?
So we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
We'll see how we do. So it's just an exciting time to be a sports fan. You can catch so much of it, but you got to really find the things you care about. And for our Mishawaka community, they care a lot about both Penn and Mishawaka.
Yeah, wrestling. Wrestling is so huge. I mean, like I said, I thought football was loud. Then I come here my freshman year and see the first Penn Mishawaka wrestling dual meet, and I was like, wow. I mean,
yeah, and that was a big time meet. I mean, you had some big time wrestlers. Not that tonight isn't a big meet, but you're down some key wrestlers. It's not going to quite have the same juice. It's still going to have some, but not quite the same. I mean, you got student section over here, some basketball players, all sorts of people here ready to cheer on both sides. I mean, the Penn crowd is huge, and luckily we missed that snowstorm, so we didn't have any problems with traffic or traveling or any of that. So we're getting ready to wrestle. This is the longest JV you will see almost anywhere.
Yeah,
because both teams. I mean, and Penn has, 30 to 40 kids who didn't even weigh in.
Right.
Because there's just not – Mishawaka's got a big team, but nothing compared to Penn.
Exactly, yeah. It's huge. If you look at our rosters, I mean, it's
Yeah, you have it here, yeah.
not even in comparison. Just
Holy cow.
You know, it's crazy when it's like, you see ours in alphabetic order, right? But you go ahead and look at theirs, and it's like, wow, like that's crazy.
I mean, this looks like size 8 font on here.
Yeah, really. I have nearly 20/20 vision, but I had to bring that paper so close to my face.
Well, I mean, just their managers. They got 12 managers on here.
And coaches and stuff like that. It's a lot. But
yeah.
And again, one of the reasons why we're in the cave right now. But it's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's going to be an exciting night. It's the cave kind of has like the lighting's better in here now, which is helpful. Like it's just a lot brighter, which is nice. The acoustics are so, but you know what I learned? I was down there talking to Kurt Rollo. You can see him sitting on your screen taking pictures. He works for Penn High School. He does sports journalism. He helps run the Penn. He does such a good job. He's just good people, and we're chatting. And they got a whole video board in their gym now, like in the center.
Wow,
they just got that installed. He said about a month or so ago.
Wow.
So exciting times over there, and we're gonna make people here jealous. I'll tell you, Elkhart got one installed at Northside Gym a few years back, and it's a really nice venue over there.
It is very nice. Yeah. We were there for semi-state basketball last year in February or so, and it is very, very nice. Yeah. And
it's such a big gym. It's one of the biggest in the country, and it really is a nice venue, especially since they put in those boards, new scoreboards, all sorts of stuff.
And when you talk about state tournament type atmospheres, that's one of them here in Indiana. Yeah. It's pretty cool that they host that last year. One big thing that I found out this morning that I want to note on a little bit, I believe this is true. According to Indiana Met, because of the NBA All-Star not being in Indianapolis this year, it will be in East Chicago again. That state final, I believe, will be in East Chicago, or is that semi-state?
No, semi-state for our wrestlers, both Penn and Mishawaka will be in East Chicago. State will be back in Indianapolis.
Okay,
last year they moved it to Evansville, which was a challenge. That's so far away from here.
Long trip.
I mean, it's almost as far as you can go and still be in Indiana from here, and that's a challenge. So because of that NBA All-Star game last year, they did move it down to Evansville. But this year they're going to be back in Indianapolis, rightful place.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just makes sense. It's the center of the state. It's got the most amenities, right? It has the most places for people to stay and all of those things.
Right.
And, so that'll be nice for them to be back into kind of a more normal state finals experience.
Right, 100%. Thank you very much, Indiana Matt, for saving me
Absolutely.
there. Correct information is always key for us in this craft. But yeah, so like you said, I think I've only seen about one or two more Mishawaka wrestlers, JV wrestlers, and their warm-up gear getting ready to go. So we're not too far away from varsity wrestling.
Yeah, we're getting there. I mean, and they're going to have to do some rearranging and all of that, but I think everybody's kind of itching to get started, I think since weigh-ins, I mean, everybody was kind of hyped. I was down here, and they were just, like, trying to get it going. But just to give some quick updates here, we did get Mishawaka will be the sectional host here in the cave. Mishawaka's coming off kind of an up and down season so far. They've had some really good matches. You know, Warsaw was huge. They went to Warsaw, won 64-16, and that was a big one. But then they went to Henry Wilk, and they were again. They did okay. They beat New Palestine. They beat Fort Wayne Snyder, Columbus North in a close one. Blew out John Glenn, but lost pretty handily to Homestead. And then obviously you had the Al Smith. Mishawaka finished in 17th place in that. Penn finished, I think, in 7th.
Yep.
And so Penn obviously had a better showing there. And I don't think anybody, from the team, from Mishawaka's team, thought they wrestled super well. I think they were pretty disappointed in some of those, but they did have 3 placers. Josh Kite finished in 8th, and then both senior Trey Dunning and freshman Nick Fries finished in 7th place. So that's 7th place. You might say, oh, that's not very high, but in a 30-plus team tournament with some of the best teams in the state, you were here.
Yep.
What was the caliber of wrestling you saw in that finals?
It was kind of insane, to be honest with you. I've been a part of the last 3 Al Smith invites, and this one in particular, just learning more about wrestling as time goes by and stuff like that, knowing more wrestlers and stuff like that, hearing the names, looking through Indiana Matt at the history and guys who are up there in the state rankings. It was pretty cool. We saw a lot of guys do really well, and then I'm looking at their names, that number next to their name, that grade, It's insane.
Yeah.
Some freshmen going crazy.
Well, and some freshmen at some higher weight classes. You often see freshmen at 106 and 113 and 126, but there was a couple at 160, right, at these like higher weight classes, which is, I mean, that's just talent. And we did a little history lesson yesterday, talked about Josh Harper at Mishawaka and Steve Sandifer and Tommy Forte, and we talked about some of those guys, and then we talked about a big hard fall there. I think that's Ethan Flowers.
I think you're right.
And he didn't mean to do that, but I think it might end that match. That's definitely a penalty. And the coaches, and then the kid from Penn feels bad. He already does.
Yeah.
And you can see it there. But it's not what you want to see there. As we've got just a few matches left. Yeah, that is Ethan Flowers. And some of the best trainers in the business out there taking care of him. Maddie and Hannah out there. So so then you have these great wrestling history here at Mishawaka, but then we talked about, a few years ago, I had to enlighten you about Jesse Mendez, who just won a national title for Ohio State last year, who was one of the best wrestlers in the country. He was here at Al Smith. And, I mean, put on a show, right? I mean, it was packed in here, and he's every year coming in here just winning. You saw Gavin Gendreas from Crown Point this year won his 4th straight Al Smith title, which is just, I mean, that's not something you ever do.
Right, yeah,
That's
it's huge.
It's almost something that is not, you feel like it shouldn't be allowed, right? Like you feel like you invite some of the best teams in the state, and somehow you keep winning, right? And so I think it's a great state of wrestling here in Indiana, but especially around this area in the northern Indiana. Sometimes northern Indiana gets overlooked in some sports. We talk about it a lot. And some reasons, rightly so. Those indie schools are so good. But wrestling, they definitely, whether you're Crown Point or Maryville or Chesterton, or Mishawaka, Penn, all these teams really put out good teams.
Yeah, 100%. It's really cool to see these things. We talk about the Mendez kid. That's insane. His record, I believe, was like around 157-1, something like that, which is huge. And that one loss, by the way, he was wrestling a kid that was 2 weight classes above his.
Out of state, too.
Out of state, an Illinois wrestler. So, I mean, that's just crazy, and it's not something that you think about. It's like, for me, stepping into it my freshman year and seeing it, it's like a whole new world, basically.
Well, and we didn't talk about Chad Redd. We were talking about him. Chad Redd went undefeated in Indiana, went to Nebraska. He's just a very talented wrestler, too. So lots of great wrestling happening. And then, obviously, the wrestling here, just in the time we've been around, Joe Walker won the state title here for Mishawaka. It was very good. Last year, Czar Walker, Bo Brabender made it pretty far into the state tournament. And then here tonight, you're going to see Trey Dunning, who made it to the state. He was a state qualifier last year, which is just so hard to do.
It is.
To make it to state. Because you got to, especially in that regional and semi-state, you've got to win those first matches. And if you don't, you end up not making it. And then Penn, you're going to see something that Malachi Evans placed, I think, 3rd or 4th at Al Smith this year.
Yep.
Brady Harper over there is a very talented wrestler. So you're going to see good wrestling from both sides here tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. Some names you already mentioned, Harper and Evans on the Penn side, and Dunning and Freeze on the other. Brody Blevins is somebody that,
absolutely.
I'm pretty good friends with. You know him. He's in our class, right? We know his brother and things like that, his family. But he's really trying to make a run this year. He tried to do the same thing last year. Had a little bit of heartbreak, and that's kind of a good thing sometimes. We talked about that. It's motivating. You want motivation.
You need to get better. But even in the coaching staffs, you see Josh Olson wrestle at Adams, very good wrestler. Steve Sandifer, we talked about. Brad Harper, we talked about. Yeah. But even over there, Devin Beaver wrestled here at Mishawaka, and he's on Penn's coaching staff. Ben Dolly, same thing. And then you see people like Kobe Woods on their coaching staff. He was an amazing wrestler at Penn. So you see even the coaches have that kind of track record of being very talented wrestlers in the area.
Yeah, 100%, and you need that. You want the best to coaching the guys that could be the best eventually, coaching them to be the best. So it's interesting. And one thing about wrestling, yes, it's an individual sport, but it's one of those few, unlike golf or tennis, where, yes, it's an individual sport, but it's a very close-knit team still at the same time. So
yeah, and yes, you have team scores in golf and tennis and stuff, but you have more, in golf you have 5, in tennis you have 5 or whatever, right? But here you've got 12 guys have got to wrestle their heart out every night to score your points. And it's not just getting points. It's not saying, okay, I won. It's saying, okay, can I get 4 points? Can I get 5 points? Can I get that 6-point fall, right? And that's huge for your team because it goes both ways. It says, okay, I'm going up against this really great wrestler. My job is to not get pinned.
Right.
And if I can do that, I won. And that sounds weird because you're like, oh, that's not a win. You lost.
Yeah.
But if it can help your team, and that's something they preach, hey, we can't give up bonus points. We can't do it. We can't give up back points. We can't give up bonus points in those matches. So we'll see how they do tonight here as we get closer and closer to varsity wrestling here on the Mishawaka Network.
Got a lot going on here. Just still JV.
Yep.
We got Ethan Flowers. He's still getting worked out. That's been on hold for a little bit. Hannah Heston.
I think they're going to end it here, yeah.
Yeah, they will.
So with only a few JV matches, I think we'll take a quick break, Daniel. When we come back, we should be getting ready for some varsity action. Looks like only a few more left. We'll be back after this.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Snowed a single flirt.
But Santa dear, we're in a hurry.
So climb down the chimney, turn on the brightest string of lights I've ever seen. Slice up the fruitcake. It's time we hung some tinsel on that evergreen bough. For I've grown a little leaner, grown a little colder, grown a little sadder, grown a little older, and I need a little angel sitting on my shoulder. Need a little Christmas, need a little Christmas
We need a little music.
Need a little laughter.
Need a little singing, ringing through the rafter, and we need a little Steffi, happy ever after. Need a little Christmas, need a little Christmas love.
welcome back here to the cave. We're about to start varsity wrestling here. Looks like they're just wrapping up this JV here. We see the Cavemen varsity squad going to warm up a little bit, get what they need to do done, get rid of that second mat here, and just move that mat over.
That's always the sign that
right.
We're getting ready for varsity wrestling, because they're getting rid of that mat to your left there. As you can see them rolling up, and it's always nice to see the varsity. They're not too cool to pick up, right?
Right, yeah.
You know, they know that it's part of the duty of being on the team. So you can see the cave floor there a little bit. They're not rolling that one up super well.
Yeah, that's yeah.
The other ones are doing a little bit better, but
a little bit of an ice cream cone type thing there, but
Will Mason trying to coach him up a little bit.
yeah, he knows what it is.
Yeah, so yeah, we're getting ready for varsity wrestling. You got Mishawaka, Penn here. We will have all the weight classes, and we're starting at the bottom, starting at 106, I believe, going all the way up. It'll only be one mat. I think they are going to move it over, so we'll see what that looks like coming up. We're going to have a special national anthem here in a little bit. We'll see who ends up singing that. We got a couple options over there.
Yeah, it's a battle now.
But a huge shout out. I want to first thank everybody for coming out, everybody online, watching, listening. Huge shout out to our big sponsors. Burton's Laundry has been just such a huge help for us, getting us, you know, the t-shirts y'all wear and all those types of things, but also just kind of helping get us, you know, some equipment figured out. If we need to fix something here or there, we got a little extra money to do that. And then the big sponsor for all athletic events is Forte Waterproofing, especially of wrestling. They were the major sponsor of the Al Smith Invitational. They're a big sponsor here. They sponsor all of our sports and our sports broadcasts. So thanks to Forte Waterproofing. If you need waterproofing on your house, they'll help you out.
Yeah.
I had them come do an inspection of my house. We might get some work done here. So big shout out to Forte Waterproofing for helping sponsor Mishawaka Athletics in general, but definitely the Mishawaka Network.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you very much, Forte, for doing all you do for us. I have no problem, after knowing how much you guys do reading those ad reads every broadcast.
Yep.
It's well worth it.
And there's a pin there for the Cavemen, as that'll finish up our JV matches with the Cavemen coming out on top in that one. As we're going to get started with some varsity lineups and wrestling, and they're going to move that mat over. You can see them just untaping it from the floor there.
Yeah, you talk about ASMR videos, like watching slime videos and stuff like that. Forget about it. Just show me the Cayman varsity team rolling up.
That's right, getting some tape off the floor.
Mat. Yeah, dude.
Forget about it. What they're doing is trying to just get it up a little bit so they can move it over. And look at that. That is some in coordination there. Who said the Caveman varsity wrestling team is not coordinated? Look at that.
Hey, even if they don't, please, Cayman wrestlers, please know this is a joke, because I know so many of you. Even if you don't beat Penn tonight here, at least you can say, hey, we worked as a team.
Yeah, we got it.
Match.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we'll see. Listen, we got some big matches right off this. I don't think we'll find out, but I don't know if there's any bigger match tonight than at 113, which we talked about off air, but we can bring that on air. Again, we're starting at 106, but 113, you're talking about Harper from Penn, Brody Blevins of Mishawaka, and that's a big match for both of them and for both teams.
Right, and for a few reasons. One of them being these are two guys who, yes, have had some success, but haven't really, reached their end goal yet. Totally.
Right.
So, and it's two guys who I know for a fact, especially Blevins, they put in a lot of work in the offseason, going into the junior season, which is huge both academically but definitely athletically. So we'll have to see what they do here. And there's two wrestlers that I would say are pretty much evenly matched.
Yeah, they both performed pretty well at Al Smith. I don't know if either of them got to where they wanted. Harper did place. Brody wasn't able to. But we'll be able to see tonight pretty early on, right? You got 106 to start, and then that'll be up after that, as they're going to do a little bit of warming up, I think, and then they're getting set up for varsity wrestling. We've got a good crew here tonight. We're going to try some new graphics here tonight. They'll definitely work. Nobody will at all mess up. Nope. We feel very good and confident about this. But if we do, we will have grace and we will get better. So this is some first year. We haven't done a wrestling match in here in a while.
Yeah.
This year we haven't. And then we'll be back in the cave for sectionals. This is the last home dual match for the Cavemen. They go on the road to Northridge later this week. And then newly scheduled East Noble invite. It's a weird invite. It's not a team invite. That's an individual invite. So they will be competing as individuals. Yes, they compete as individuals, but they won't be getting team points or anything like that. It'll be similar to Al Smith. I guess they will get team points, but not in the way you normally would, right?
Right.
Usually at these invites, they're head-to-head. So it's Mishawaka against, New Palestine or whatever, but that's not. This will be an individual tournament. And that's because there was a little disappointment. This weekend was Team State down in Indianapolis and in and around Indianapolis, and the Mishawaka Cavemen were not invited. So it was a little controversy figuring out which teams were going to get the last few bids, because some of the teams are automatic based on places and rankings and stuff, and Cavemen were not invited. And that was a little upsetting for the team, but they're going to go to East Noble, and then they've got a few more matches after that, Wawasee next week, and get all in the lead up to sectionals, which starts at the end of the month here at Mishawaka High School.
Yeah, it should be a fun one. I mean, we talked about that one matchup at 113. It's going to be fun, but, maybe not as many matchups as tense and exciting as that one.
Yeah.
But there are some individual wrestlers that
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to seeing. Malachi Evans is one of those who plays fourth at Al Smith that I'm looking forward to seeing. On the Penn side, Trey Dunning, someone who plays seventh for Mishawaka,
Yep.
and Al Smith on the Mishawaka side, obviously. Those would be fun ones
Well,
to
and
watch.
honestly, right off the bat, Nick Freeze, 106.
Yeah,
He's ranked
huge.
17th as a freshman.
Yeah.
At 106, actually number one ranked at 106 is Juliana Ocampo, one of the girls that's still wrestling in the boys. They had to decide at the start of the year if they were going to continue wrestling. It's kind of the last year for that. Hey, do you want to keep wrestling with the boys, or you can transition to the girls?
Yeah.
And she decided, hey, I want to fight it out my senior year and go for it. She's right now ranked first, and that would be a huge, just to make it into the state finals last year for a girl, really impressive.
Huge.
She won Al Smith last year, which was unbelievable.
Unbelievable, yeah.
So anyway, Nick Freeze at 106. He'll start us off here tonight for the Cavemen and see what he's got. We got the Smith brothers, see what they can do. So still some exciting. And then you got some new faces. Some I hadn't even heard of some of these kids that are going to be wrestling tonight for the Cavemen, because they just haven't got the shots, and they're going to get it tonight because of some different things, some injuries, sickness, different things like that. We talked about it beforehand. Isaiah Butte out sick today, so he won't be able to wrestle. Drew Ginter, he is here today, but he's not going to be able to wrestle because he is injured, but hopefully he'll be back soon. So lots of interesting things, and we talked to both coaches.
Yep.
Both coaches said they're sick, they're hurt, they're kind of just trying to make it.
Then some of them are on the sideline for college football playoff semifinal games. So
Yeah, no Vinny Freeman tonight. He won't be wrestling. So just lots of new people, new faces for both teams. And when we talked to Coach Brad Harper, what did he tell us about moving this event?
Actually, shout out to you, Coach Harper. Wait, we're plugging it for you.
That's right.
He talked about how he would rather this event, something this huge, a rivalry like this, so storied, be on a Friday.
Yeah. Let's make it a Friday night rumble,
It's like the prime time slot for high school
Absolutely,
sports.
yeah.
So, why wouldn't you want it to be on a Friday? He talked about how in the beginning of the week, your sickness and stuff like that, but by the end of the week, Friday.
Yeah, usually you can
they're
get
okay.
healthier, right? The start of the week's hard. You just came off the weekend, and then this weekend you're coming off a break. Both schools coming off a winter break. So we'll see what they can do here tonight. We got captains out there. We're getting ready for Anthem, and then we're going to do lineups and get ready to go here. Jim Flatt over on the mic there for the PA announcer. I think the rumble is over. I think Corin Shepley is singing the anthem. He's got the microphone.
Man, I was not expecting Al Dover to lose that one.
Yeah, well, Al Dover said, you know what? I had my time in the sun. I'll get another one.
Hey,
He won that state title in 1971. The joke he made to us is that, what did he win it in the 130s weight class?
132, yeah.
132. He said it's the same weight class he is today. And,
dude.
do your thing, man.
Consistency, historic. Historic. Props to him for passing the torch tonight. I think the captain's thing is kind of cool how they do that with football as well.
Yep.
With wrestling. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. And I think, the Cavemen feel, hey, when you get into a match like this, anything can happen. You
Yeah.
need to have things go your way if you're the Cavemen tonight. You need to win the matches you're supposed to win and win them by the margins you want. You
Right.
need to get pins at big weight classes, whether that's at 106 or 138 or whatever, 215, whatever
Yeah.
those are. You got to get those extra points. And you got to take advantage. If you're a new wrestler here, hey, they might not know how we wrestle.
Yeah, right.
Let's get after it,
it's finding those little advantages that you do have, those strengths, and
Right.
maximizing them and taking advantage
They
of
just
them.
announced their Nick Freeze wrestling for the Cavemen's. This is Brody Blevins. We talked about it, 113 against Brady Harper. At 120, you're going to see Aiden Diaz of Penn and then Chance Smith, one of the two Smiths that'll be wrestling. Neither of them are the best wrestlers, Smith in the in the school. With,
True.
with KK Smith out here just doing great for the Cavemen. 126, you're going to see Kingston Chavez against Josh Kite. Let's see what we got at 132. We got Ryan Schmittendorf, who's had a great career for the Cavemen. And this is Liam Finn, his first chance here tonight at home for the Cavemen varsity wrestling team. At 138, you're going to have Anthony Taylor, and that's going to be against Will Mason. Will Mason styling with his headphones out there.
Yeah, dude.
Gotta show it off.
One of your favorite personalities.
Will does great. 144, Colby Smith will be taking on Aaron Pennington of Penn. 150 is going to be Ryan Hall of Penn against Braden Reed. Braden Reed's had kind of up and down season. He was in the starting lineup. He was out. Now he's back in with some injuries. Another new face for the Cavemen here is going to be Corey Gardner at 157. Also at 157 is Aiden Witten for Penn. So 165 is going to be Leo Santiago. And for the Cavemen, it's going to be Gunnar Eby. Again, another new face for the Cavemen. Gunnar Eby hasn't seen a lot of varsity action. But at 175, we have the fullback extraordinaire for the Cavemen, Caden O'Neill, the sophomore. He's kind of come on strong for the Cavemen, but he'll be taking on Alessio Retzloff. Big one at 190 is going to be Caleb Evans, who will be taking on Tommy Hoover, who we haven't again seen at the varsity lineup. But we talked about the 113 matchup, but here at 215 is a big one too. Trey Dunning, Malachi Evans facing off against each other. And so we'll see how both of them do as they kind of do a little stare down there. And that takes us to 285 with Mikel Ajadi of Penn against Tristan Stevens of Mishawaka. So those are your lineups, Daniel. Ready for wrestling?
Yeah, that Evans Dunning one kind of gets me ready to go too. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
And that's going to be late in that match too,
Right.
because we're starting at 106. So we're going to get set up here for national anthem. You're going to hear Corin Shepley singing the anthem here in a second as they bring down that flag from the center there, and then we'll be back to bring you wrestling after this.
What softly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And just like that, we're ready to wrestle.
We are ready to get it going here. It's going to be a fun one. Starting off with 106, obviously we got Nick Freeze. What do we got for Penn?
For Penn, we got Micah Vargas at 106, and we are ready to wrestle here. Right now, teams even 0-0, as Nick Freeze goes for the leg.
He's already taking a huge shot, attacking, trying to get control over Vargas here. I mean, we talked about how talented a wrestler this kid is, being a freshman, and we're seeing it right now, just right off the jump.
Still
attacking.
no points, but there's that takedown.
So he's got the 3.
We've had to train everybody to go from 2 to 3.
Yep.
The 3-point takedown for Nick Freeze makes it 3-0.
Huge here. He's got him on his back, I believe.
He's not counting those, so no points there. But Nick Freeze off to a strong start. I mean, right off the bat, he went for that leg, and right now you see he's got the leg hooked, and he's trying to turn him. He's either trying to turn him or flip him. Look right there. He's trying to flip him on his head. He's not able to get it, though. But now he's got him on the back.
See here what he can do. Freeze fighting for position.
I thought he might have got some points there, but still nothing. The referee knows better than I do, obviously. And this is what he did. We saw him earlier this year. He's really trying to move those arms. He's trying to get the one behind, one in front, and just flip over. And he's been really successful so far this season.
He's somebody who strikes me as a very fundamental wrestler. And
yeah.
Obviously, that's nothing to shun. That's a huge thing.
And these are the matches where you're trying to get extra points, and he might get some now.
Got to hold on to that left leg. I'll call it out of bounds.
He's going to go out. He is going to get 4 near fall points. He was definitely, the Mishawaka fans really thought that was a pin, but that is 7-0. But you really need these bonus points. It's not just about winning.
Right.
Tech fall's great, but that extra point you get for the actual fall is going to be important.
So, with about 30 seconds left in this first period, Nick Freeze leads 7-0 over Vargas.
Right now, Vargas is trying to flatten out, but Freeze isn't letting him.
And he's got an opportunity here. Definitely some near fall. We see that ref counting, but maybe more. Got to hold that arm.
That's going to get him the 4 more. So 4 more makes it 11-0 in favor of Nick Freeze of the Mishawaka Cavemen.
You can see him trying to turn that arm before the buzzer sounds. And that'll do it with the first period. He got that 4 more near fall before the bell rung, which makes it the score 11-0 in favor of Freeze.
Yeah, look at this new graphic we got. We are just killing it.
Yeah, man, we're doing
right
it.
At the bottom of the screen there, you see where you're heading to the second period. They're trying to, right now it says 35-minute period. That would be a challenge.
It would be.
But Nick Freeze right now, here's the question. You want to get that pin, but 4 more points. If you don't give up any points, you're talking about a tech fall, right? Which is still going to get your team 5 points. So we'll see what happens as he goes right for that leg.
Attacking off the jump. Once again, they start at neutral position. Trying to use that and flip him over again.
And right now, this is going to do it. So this is going to be the last move of this match because he's getting the 3-point takedown, which makes it 14. He's got the 4 points locked up right now as the ref's holding it out there. So now he's just going to try to go for the pin.
Got to keep him. Again, he's got that win waiting for him on the side. Can he add the icing on the cake?
Oh, there he might have it. He needs to get that left arm down, and he's not gonna get it. And that's gonna do it, yep.
So, Nicholas Freeze of Mishawaka will get it done, the freshman phenom.
Yeah,
how about
18-0. That's gonna give the Cavemen a 5-0 lead. So, Cavemen now get 5 points to start this match as we head to 113.
A big match, one of the key matchups of this dual meet.
It says 3-0 on the board. I don't think that's right.
I don't think so either, as no whistle is blown and the first period has not started. But Brady Harper and the Brody Blevins of Mishawaka, the 113 weight class wrestler for the Cavemen, they're getting after it here. Nobody taking crazy shots yet. Gonna call a stop here as that scoreboard is still not right. The clock is still running. Not sure what they're gonna set the time at, and they have to get that scoreboard fixed. As again, 3-0 is not correct.
It's not just 3-0. There we go, 5-0 in favor of Mishawaka. Perfect. Now we're talking. See, ours is right. Look at us.
Yeah, there we go.
Blevins Harper out there wrestling now as we are underway at 113.
So team score is now corrected, 5-0 in favor of Mishawaka.
Even just looking at these wrestlers, they look about the same height, about the same length. They're both kind of having the similar mannerisms out there as Blevins goes for the takedown right away.
And it's really just two guys who are really trying to prove themselves.
Yep.
And in the state, not just the program, but
Right.
the state.
Well, and right there, that was a great job by Harper fending off that attack by Blevins.
They'll go out of bounds here.
Yeah, so no points there as they're out of bounds, as both wrestlers a little bit slow to get up there. Interesting tonight, there's no chairs in the corner. Really, it's just the coaches coaching from the sidelines.
Yeah. Nobody really taking crazy shots here with less than a minute left in this first period, but now we've got one.
But just as you say it, Harper goes for that leg. He's got the right leg. Can he flip Blevins?
You're hearing commands here. Is that three-point takedown for Harper?
Yeah,
Coach-
that was big right there. Blevins had fought it off a few times, but Harper was able to get kind of leverage, get the three-point takedown.
Coach Grayless and Coach Sandifer here trying to coach him through this one. Get him out of what's becoming a tough situation with 20 seconds left here in his first period. Blevins kind of looking like he's trying to fight it off, but he wouldn't mind if the two went out of bounds and they got to reset.
Yeah, I mean, you got 10 seconds. You kind of hope you can get at least a one-point escape as they're going to stop this match. I think they're going to stay out of bounds there, yep. So you only got 7 seconds. If you can kind of hit a quick move out of there, try to get one easy point out of this, that would be huge for Blevins and the Mishawaka Cavemen.
So he's going to look to do that here. 7 seconds is all he's got to do it.
Yeah, it's not looking promising.
No, it is not. Clock winds down, and Brody kind of just like shrugs, like,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, I mean, right now you're down 3-0, but with the new scoring system, you can get those points back. 3-point takedowns, 4-point near falls.
Right.
I mean, you can get those points back a little bit better. Now it's about endurance, right? Some of these lower weight classes, you're moving a lot, and now you're going to another 2 minutes. And if you make it to the third, another 2 minutes, we'll see how these wrestlers endure that.
Yeah, and wrestling is one of those sports where it's like, who's going to out-tire who? So they get started here. Brody Blevins will take the top position. Got to make sure he doesn't let that release go.
Yeah, I
And
think
he will give it to him,
I think
yeah.
he decided, hey, I'm not going to waste my energy trying to keep him down here. I'm going to go after him.
So 4-0 in favor of Harper.
Blevins trying to circle there, but I think they're going to be out of bounds soon.
They'll call it.
That was a pretty strong, aggressive move after the escape. So good job by Blevins kind of trying to come back here, down 4-0.
And Harper's got that leg. Trying to grab the other one. Gonna drag one down and get that three-point takedown. Leads by 7.
That's huge. It's 7-0 now. And even though Blevins has wrestled pretty well, giving up 2 takedowns, you're down big, and you gotta kind of take chances.
Gonna go out of bounds again and reset. Brody Blevins is somebody I have a few classes with, and somebody I'm pretty good friends with.
Yeah.
And all day today, you know, somebody who usually talks quite a bit, completely locked in.
Yeah. I mean, you knew coming in this was going to be a big match, and here we are. Caution green there, so that's going to be on Penn. You get a couple cautions for free, but once you hit that third one, you give up points.
So gotta be careful. Harper obviously in the lead here by.
Well, and that was a weird one. Usually the cautions are false starts. That was just a setup problem. He was in the wrong spot.
Yeah. Gotta be careful here, Blevins. Trying to get that escape. Gotta fight.
And there he gets it.
And they'll get it. So Brody Blevins on the board now. And that's that one step that you gotta take. Gonna try to finish this takedown.
Yeah, right now, though, Harper's done a good job of getting that arm. And now Blevins has got him.
I believe he's got to flip.
He's got to get that head out. Once he
Yep.
gets that head out, no. He's got to get the head out. There it is.
So he's got the three-point takedown. Now it's a three-point match. 35 left. The momentum on Blevins' side by a mile. He's fighting. And Harper's got a one up here.
Oh, no, they're going to call potentially dangerous. And Harper's in pain now.
Bad pain.
But, I mean, that was huge. Blevins down 7-0, gets the escape.
Coach Harper here on the mat. Hannah has checking out Harper here.
And it almost looks like Blevins is listening in to hear what the injury is.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they're not making him go away. There he's
So
going. Surprisingly, trainer, she's looking at the legs. I thought it was going to be that shoulder, the way his shoulder was, but they're looking right now at maybe a cramp. That's usually a cramp situation there. So we'll see what's going on now. But Blevins, a great job coming back, down 7-0. It's 7-4, and he was almost getting those back points. But we'll see what he can do as he's standing over there talking to Coach Sandiford, Coach Gradeless.
we're trying to figure it out here. Harper, obviously he wants to keep wrestling. He's up by 3.
Well, keep wrestling, but you also have to look at the bigger picture. Yes, you want to win against Mishawaka, of course.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be hurt going into the last few weeks of the season and into tournament play.
Right. And Harper, just like Blevins, a wrestler who's really trying to make his mark here.
Right. And I don't think he's just threw that headset off. I don't think he's going to be able to go.
And really
Headset
not what you
landed
wanna
over
see.
by Sandiford's feet over there.
Yeah.
Josh Kite coaching from the sidelines now too. Now, what they're if he can't go, I think Blevins is going to get the win. There was no penalty, right? There was no ill intent with what Brody Blevins was doing there. You know, we saw in a JV kind of a toss over the shoulder, which is against the rules.
Right.
So we've got 23 seconds to go in the second period, but their injury time is running out. You only get a certain amount. And I think he's going to be done.
I think so too.
He doesn't have his headgear. Sandiford's giving it to him now.
Trying
Yeah,
to
he
figure
can't
that
walk,
out. Yeah.
I don't think.
They're going to try to figure this out. Like you said, only.
And this is a big match. We already talked about Blevins. We already talked about Harper. I think Blevins would like to finish it out. I think he feels strong. I mean, you don't want to win this way necessarily, and they are going to call it.
Wow.
Brad Harper is going to call it. And good sportsmanship, which we don't always see in wrestling, but a good job by both wrestlers there. And Brody Blevins gets the win. That increases the Mishawaka lead to 11-0. So Mishawaka now leads 11-0 in the match, and that's huge.
It is.
As you're going to have some big matches coming up here. This one at 120 between Aiden Diaz and Chance Smith of the Mishawaka Cavemen.
So Chance Smith, somebody who's a sophomore coming in. He started varsity a few times last season, and he's somebody also who's trying to make his mark as a young kid on the team.
Yeah, he had a really impressive season last year. Not that they weren't expecting anything from him, but the expectations weren't super high.
Right.
And so to have the season he had to help the team in a lot of matches was really good to see.
So he really wants to make an impact here with this team and, you know, maybe try to make some kind of run in the state tournament. Obviously, that's the goal of every wrestler here. And he's taking shots here. He's got the three-point takedown, got that head out quick, wasn't even locked up.
So 3-point lead right now, Chance Smith over Aiden Diaz. As Smith gets the 3-point takedown.
And they're gonna give the escape there to Diaz. They'll go out of bounds and reset.
So 3-1 now. We're still in the first period, 1:15 to go. But listen, they've got another clock problem. We saw this at some of the girls' sectionals too.
Yep.
That was very confusing for us because we were
was.
not sure which clock was going on. But they're going to run a few seconds off here. There we go. So the second official saying, hey, run 4 or 5 seconds off, 1:08 to wrestle here in the first period.
Smith and Diaz just kind of trying to feel each other out. Look to take some shots.
Well, Smith's taking a few shots, but Diaz took the one shot, and that put him in a bad position. That's what gave up the 3 points, so we'll see what he can do now, trailing 3-1.
One thing that I like that I've been looking at a lot, just watching more wrestling as we get deeper and deeper into the winter sports season, is that head on the gear and the head and the neck, stuff like that. I mean, not only is it an annoyance for the opposing wrestler, But for the wrestler, that's on the offensive side, that's a huge thing for them because they get the
Right.
head and they can take another shot with the other arm.
Well, and you got to make sure not to grab headgear. That's where you could fall into some problems. But right there, Diaz just getting pushed back as Smith is just pushing him around right now. Diaz had a chance there, but there's not a lot of time left.
Clock is running out. Less than 10 seconds, approaching 5, and they'll go out of bounds with exactly 6 seconds on the clock.
Well, and you got to be careful not to give up anything short here in that short clock.
So 3-1 in favor of Smith, the Mishawaka wrestler. And that's going to do it for the first period. Buzzer will sound, and we'll move on to the second.
So Penn has the choice. They're going to start down. You can hear the fans. Big crowd here tonight for wrestling. Smith returns him to the mat there. Very impressive.
So still fighting for position. Obviously, it looks like Smith has advantage right now as they're crawling out of bounds slowly but surely. Let's see it, though. So,
Yeah, he's still got his 2 feet in. There he goes.
yeah, they're going ahead.
Yeah,
and
well,
out
you
of
got to
bounds.
have those 2 points of contact. It can be a hand-foot, it can be hand-hand, foot-foot, whatever. But once you get only 1 point of contact, in that case, only the 1 foot out of bounds or back to the middle.
Right.
And there's going to be a caution, and he knew it. Chance Smith knew that right away.
Yep. Got to be careful.
Yep.
And a lot of that thing, I feel like, it's like a false start in football
Yep.
or offsides or whatever. It's just kind of jittering, and that 1 point escape there for Diaz after starting in the down position.
3-2 lead for Chance Smith in a big match. Cavemen already lead 11-0, but those leads in wrestling can evaporate quickly.
Don't really have any official updates, but Harper is still being worked on.
Yeah, it looks
over.
like Wesley Harper is over there with him, and is something's wrong with his leg. I can't tell if it's a calf or a knee.
And looks like Smith is not in the best position right now. Not ideal.
He's still fighting it though. No points given, and it might change here in just a second.
Gotta take advantage of the opportunity here that he has, and does not look good.
Smith still has the leg, and that's huge. But he's going to lose it.
So we got the 3-point takedown for Diaz. He snatches the lead by 2. And
So-
Smith has got to be careful.
Yeah, 5-3 now, as Smith is at least standing.
So let's get the 1-point escape, make it a 1-point match. So he's in good shape. Both wrestlers on their feet. It's neutral right now. Smith really paying a lot of attention to that head. Clock winding down. And the buzzer will sound on
Hey,
this second period.
We're going to get a third period here, Daniel.
Yeah. So just like fourth quarter in football or basketball, I like to call it the third period
That's
here in
right.
wrestling. It's a situational period, I think. Overtime is kind of double, but it's going to be interesting here.
Well, they're
5 to
going
4.
to stand. It should be 5-5, yeah.
There we go. We got that corrected.
Nope, 6-4.
Okay.
So, Penn's Diaz, because they decided to stand. Diaz is going to have 6 points. Smith has
Right,
4. Yep.
That makes sense.
So Smith, well, now they're saying 5-5. I'm not sure what's happening
I don't
here.
know either.
You know what? It has to be 5-5 because
Smith gave him that opportunity, right?
Well, because Diaz started in that down position in period 2, so that means Smith had the choice in period 3. So
Gotcha.
it is 5-5. And if Diaz says, hey, let's stand up, that's going to give Smith the point, which he does get. So we are tied here in the third period.
And Diaz has got that left leg. Smith trying to fight it. But if he takes that left leg and turns, no, he loses it. And Smith uses the momentum.
Yeah,
He's
but
got
no
him on his
points.
back.
No points. There it is.
He's got the 3-point takedown.
3-point takedown. Chance Smith, he just kept fighting that because Diaz kept trying to fight him off, and Smith kept going for it. And now he's got the 3-point lead and advantage.
Got to be careful. We got a little under 50 seconds here, approaching 45 left in this final period.
And right now, you can kind of stall it a little bit. No stalling calls have been called. You're up by 3.
They're still wrestling it out, though. Got to be careful with that out-of-bounds area. Less than 30 now, approaching 25. Score still 8-5 in favor of Chan Smith. Not really a lot of wrestling going on here.
Yeah, but I mean, you're down to 10 seconds. This
Right.
is almost, you're almost guaranteed to win if you don't do something. You could almost let him up and you still win. And he's just riding it out there.
Less than 5 now.
And they're telling him to cut that out. That's a big victory for the Cavemen. They get the 3-point victory, which is going to add 3 points to their total. And the ref is talking to Chan Smith there.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you won.
It
No
gets
need
the
to do
point.
the extra.
Right. You don't want the taunting. Just
So-
trying to get it over with.
Cavemen win the first 3 matches of the day. They are strongest in these lower weight classes.
Yeah.
So we will see how they do moving on as we move to 126. For the Cavemen, that looks like Josh Kite. For Penn, you have Kingston Chavez.
So we'll see here. Josh Kite, another guy on the wrestling team of Mishawaka.
He's already
trying to
got the
prove
cradle.
himself. Yeah, he's got that 3. And the near fall
There it
coming,
is.
and the pin. Wow.
So
14 seconds.
Not only do you get the win, you get the pin, you get the 6 points, and it is 20-0 for the Cavemen so far.
What a huge jump from Mishawaka right out the gate. They're up by 20. They scored 20 unanswered points just
And
to start here, man.
So far, you've seen some proven wrestlers for the Cavemen. Yes, freshman Nick Freeze, but you know he's good. You got Brody. You got even Chan Smith has proved himself.
Right.
Josh Kite, but now you're at some unproven wrestlers. This is Ryan Schmittendorf of the Kingsmen, who is he's been in sectionals. We've seen him in regionals. And for the Cavemen, you got Liam Finn, one of my Mackenzie Finn's brother out there. This is the first time I've seen him wrestle.
Wow. So we'll see how he does here. Somebody who usually doesn't get the nod.
Right.
Both wrestlers on their feet. We'll see Schmittendorf taking shots.
Yeah, and he's got that
leg.
too. Yep, he's got the arm and the leg in there. Still no points, though. There it is.
3-point takedown awarded, and they'll go out of bounds. So right off the gate, Schmittendorf kind of, shows the experience that he has at the level, and gets that 3-point takedown. Liam Finn will take the down position here.
Yeah, and Coach Sandiford over there trying to rallying the troops, saying, hey, let's go cheer on our team. Let's go. See Will Mason getting hyped over there. He's next. He's had an up-and-down career at Mishawaka wrestling. But Schmittendorf's going to try to get the pin.
Trying to turn Finn around here.
He's got him, it looks like. Penn doesn't like that, but they are going to call that. That's exactly what they called with Brody and Bill Evans in that 113, where Mishawaka didn't like that call.
Right. So potentially dangerous here. The reset. Finn still in the down. And that's a huge call there. You want to be able to make sure that there's nobody hurt.
Right.
I mean, we just saw with Harper.
I don't know what's happening with the scoreboard. Now they're saying 21-0. I think it's only 20.
I think you're right.
Schmittendorf really trying to show his prowess. He's been wrestling at Penn for a number of years now, and sometimes that experience matters.
Right. Trying to flip him over, using that left arm, and the score is fixed back to 20 now.
Hey, listen, I got to be honest. We've been right more than I.
Yeah.
And that might be it, yep.
Going to be the pin there. And
he got both of those arms behind him, and Schmittendorf gets Penn on the board. 6-point victory there on the pin as Penn cuts into the Mishawaka lead, making it 20-6. That'll lead us to 138 for the Cavemen. You got Will Mason. For Penn, you got Anthony Taylor. Will Mason, known for his antics. We'll see what he's up to.
So we've got Taylor and Mason here facing off. Both still on their feet. Will Mason, we talked about, not really somebody that's been able to prove himself, because a lot of it was because of the injury. Then, some action after the whistle. Mason going to kind of just brush it off, run back. And they might go out of bounds again.
Yeah, that was some extra there. On the screen, it does say Smith. It should be Mason, as there is a stalling called on Penn's Taylor. So bear with us. This is our first time using these graphics. So far, we've been perfect. But This is Will Mason for the Cavemen against Anthony Taylor.
Got that leg. Mason going to try to drag him down. Taylor off balance, and he's got that 3. Will Mason's got 3 points as opposed to Taylor's 0. He's got that right arm. Trying to wrap that.
Yeah, look at that move right there. He's looking over at the coaches, it looks like, saying, okay, what do I do now? I've got the arm.
And they'll call it potentially dangerous. They'll reset. Will Mason really kind of a scrappy wrestler, you know.
Yeah.
And he's not exactly, you know, super low in those weight classes, but he's still very, very scrappy. Kind of reminds you of a lower weight guy. Looking around here, trying to grab that arm, and he's taking that leg. Can he flip him? Taylor's fighting back. Trying to use it to his momentum here. Or advantage, rather. Mason really working that left arm of Taylor's. Fighting, not too much going on here. 5 seconds left in this first period. And they'll call it. So that's going to do it here for the first. We'll move on to the second period here of this match between Taylor and Mason. They'll stand up here. Neutral position is what it'll be. And Taylor trying to take a shot. Greatly defended by Mason. Taylor full body out of bounds. And that three-point takedown for Taylor. That's huge. And he had that 1 point escape earlier, so the score is 4-3. Once again, team score still 20-6 in favor of Mishawaka.
So Mason down 4-3 here as he gets the escape. So it is tied up at 4, Daniel. This is a tight one.
It is a tight one. Less than a minute 25 left, and Mason with some fireworks. And Taylor's going to get back up, but Mason's going to try not to give him that escape here.
Yeah, Taylor has the length on him. He's taller, he's longer, so Mason's having a hard time getting those legs. We are in the second period here, 4-4.
And Mason
as he just walks out of bounds.
Yeah, Mason was trying to stop him from
And
going
that
out
is
of
going
bounds.
to be another stalling. And Coach Harper's over there pointing to his head. You see it in the background. Said, you got to be smart. You can't walk out of bounds. That's going to be a stalling every time. You already got a stall called. Is now 5-4.
So we're here in the second period. Once again, about 40 seconds left in this one.
Yeah, this is a big match for both teams, obviously. If Mishawaka can win this match, extend their lead a little bit, give them some cushion.
Be huge. Mason, again, just being completely bothered by that length.
Yeah, but almost got another cheap point there as Taylor almost ran out of bounds again.
Yeah.
Good job stopping himself before he was.
And he's got him on the ground. 3-point takedown for Will Mason. They'll call him out of bounds after the takedown.
So 8-4, and that's the lead you want. Right? It used to be you wanted that 3-point lead just in case that takedown, but now you want that 4-point lead in case that takedown. Can he keep him down? He's only got 10 seconds.
They're fighting. Mason, be careful.
Yeah, he almost got put on his back, and that could have been a huge challenge. I think they are going to give him one, yeah. So that's going to be a huge 1-point escape there, making it 8-5.
So Taylor gets one before the bell rings, and we'll start here with the third period. Another 2 minutes, and Will Mason will take the down
And this
position.
is huge. Mason's in that down position, so you saw Taylor say, hey, let's go to neutral, make it 9-5, and I'm going to fight it out.
Right.
Taylor's had some success. He's been able to get a few points. We'll see what he can do here now, down 4 in the third period.
Let's see with those 2 stalling calls. He's kind of got the image right now of running away from the action. We'll see what he does here. Got that leg. Mason trying to fight it. That length is tough. 3-point takedown for Taylor.
I don't know how you can give him that takedown.
I don't know either. Not
and
really.
Coach Sandifer, Will Mason still had him in that headlock. And I think that might have I think he might be able to say, hey, I think they are going to take it away. No, they aren't.
I don't know.
It is going to be 9-8. They're going to go neutral again, and now you're talking 10-8. So it is now 10-8. Will Mason with the lead. On your screen, it says Smith. It is Will Mason, and this is huge. 3-point takedown for Taylor would get him the lead in the third period.
And we heard Coach Sandifer before we resumed play yelling to Will Mason, wrestle smart.
Yeah, you got to be smart out there. He wasn't in a good position. He almost got put in a really bad position. Now, he did give up the takedown, but it could have been worse. And this is Will Mason's move, and that's got to be another stalling.
Out of bounds. Let's see if they call.
Nope, they're not going to call it there.
You don't see it.
But you see that underhook. Will Mason loves getting those arms up, picking up, and getting people down that way.
Gotta be careful. He's got that underhook now. Trying to fight this shot by Taylor. Grabbing the leg.
And he's got to spin it around. He's got to circle. If he can circle around, nope. Taylor fought it off again. But now Mason's still got the leg.
Trying to circle again.
And now he's going to be on his back. That's a 3-point takedown. It is 11, and now he's getting back points. He almost got the... Now Will Mason's got it.
He's got the reversal.
He really needs the pin. 30 seconds.
They got to call this. I think he might have it. He's got the points waiting for him.
The crowd is into it. There it is.
He's got the pin. Wow. The turn of events, the adversity for Will Mason, and he gets it done with the pin.
Well, and Brad Harper looked at Will. They looked at each other, and he just gave him a fist bump. I mean, that was huge. Taylor had him in trouble. Mason's got out of it, got the pin, and that's 6 big points for the Cavemen tonight.
It's huge. Well, Mason, you talk about wrestling smart and wrestling strong.
Yeah. I don't know
there.
if he wrestled smart, but he wrestled strong.
And persevered despite the adversity, gets it done. Colby Smith
Now,
wrestling
yeah,
here.
this is Colby Smith this time. This is against Aaron Pennington now.
He's taking a shot here. That leg and some scrappy wrestling right off the jump.
No points, though.
Colby Smith, somebody who's 9-9 on the season, looking to improve here today. Penn versus Mishawaka is a good place to do it. He's got the 3-point takedown. Good start. And I'll go out of bounds here, reset. So Colby Smith got the 3-point lead early on, 1:24 left in this first period. Pennington's got the down position here.
These are big points. That Will Mason went obviously big. This is a big one here if Colby Smith can get some points, because the Cavemen have struggled this year in those higher weight classes,
Right.
the heavier weight classes. So you got Trey Dunning, but he's taking on Malachi Evans. That's a big, big match.
That's a big one.
So 1-point escape there.
Smith takes the 4
For
or no,
Pennington.
excuse me, Pennington brings the lead down to 2 for Smith. Got him up.
And you never
Pennington-
know. These are weird positions to be in.
You're right.
Right now, Smith looks like he might, if he can kind of think his way through this, he might be able to get some points.
But really got to think. Leans back and they go
Well,
out
and
of
you got to be
bounds.
careful. You don't want to make the wrong move either, right? You got a guy on your back. Going out of bounds might be the safest.
Right. And it kind of goes from like, yes, I want to score points for my team, but I also don't want to injure somebody. And Pennington slammed down. They get the 3-point takedown and go out of bounds. So he's got the 1-point lead here. Score is now 4-3.
Yeah, both coaches into it after that last match for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
It was so exciting here. Even our crew was getting a little.
Yeah, man.
We were into it. 1-point escape there for Colby Smith as he gets those legs.
Got to grab him. Do something with it.
Yeah, he can't stand up. If you stand up in that position, you're going to go back to the center. So he says, okay, let me grab this leg. Let me see what I can do. But Pennington's doing a good job fighting it off. Pretty soon, if nothing happens, they can see a stalemate.
Go ahead. Buzzer will sound. First period is over. We move on to the second. All tied up here. Pennington and Smith each have 4. Referees,
I don't know, the officials.
we're having a conversation here.
I don't know what the officials are talking about. They're going to give a 1-point penalty.
So Coach Brad Harper of Penn having a conversation here. That point is going to be awarded.
They're going to count it.
to
So
Smith.
1-point penalty there for Colby Smith makes it 5-4. And it looks like Pennington's going to defer his choice to the third period. So Colby Smith will start in that down position here in period number 2.
5-4 is the score. Once again in favor of Colby Smith.
And he's standing early there. Pennington's trying to put his weight down as a roll through there by Colby Smith, and he's going to get a 2-point reversal.
That's big for Smith.
Yeah, but I wonder in a time now where you get a 3-point takedown, if you're better off saying, let me get up, get a 1-point escape. But if you've got the position, you might as well take the 2 points, right?
Right. And it's, I always feel in any sport, it's way better to take the guaranteed points.
Right,
than,
that's
you
a
know,
good point, yeah. Because it used to be, okay, maybe a 1-point escape, 2-point takedown. That's not a big difference. But that extra point now with those 3-point takedowns could be the difference, right? Smith trying to put his weight on that side there, Pennington, as Pennington sits.
Score once again 4-7. They're not going to give him that 1-point escape that you might think.
Yeah, it was a really good job by Smith of kind of like a fake out almost. You know, oh, I'm going to let you up. Nope, I'm going for that.
Well, they will give.
Oh, they're going to give a clasping hands technical penalty there on Smith. So that's a 1-point penalty for Pennington, 7-5. You're never sure if these are going to live up to the hype, and then you start, and then you're like, oh, why did I ever think it was going to?
Exactly.
Smith trying to turn him a little bit, cannot.
Got about a minute left in the second period. Smith fighting for position, see if he can get that turn. And Pennington just trying to see what move he can make. Get rid of that hand maybe.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a long time for Smith to kind of ride this out.
Looking around here, still fighting for position, but these guys are still wrestling, and there you go. Pennington's going to get the 1-point escape. Score 7-6, so a close one in favor of Smith.
Big aggressive move as they're out of bounds and off the mat.
Gotta be careful there. Those heads were awfully close
Yeah,
to that hardwood.
I think they might have hit heads. Smith is a little bit hurt. I mean, he came in aggressive on that attempt to get that takedown.
So we've got less than 10 seconds left in this second. Pennington's got those arms hooked. Trying to turn him. Colby Smith fights it.
Yeah, right now you just got to wait it out.
And the buzzer sounds. Score once again 7-6 in favor of Smith. Going into that third period here is the big one.
It should be Penn's choice. Yeah, they're going to It should be Penn's choice. Penn deferred. Yeah, there we go. Got to get that right.
Got to get that right, yeah.
And that's a big one. Down 1, you can get a 1-point escape and tie the match here. So, good job by the officials getting that right. Took a second and some cajoling from
Yep.
Brad Harper over there. But good job by everybody making sure we got in the right spot.
The fight here, Colby Smith making sure to not give Pennington that escape.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of effort to try to stay in that position, though. It's almost unheard of in high school wrestling to keep somebody down for an entire 2-minute period.
Right.
And you got to be careful to not get called for stallings either sometimes when you get in these positions. But he's still wrestling. You see him going crossface there, trying to turn him. So
Smith really trying here.
yeah, you can see he's got that arm. He's trying to keep him down there.
But Pennington, how about the fight? They'll call clasping of hands.
No, they're going to call stalemate there, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, so they're just going to go back to the center. Yeah, it did look like that, but he was doing this one, which is hard to tell.
I was going to say, officials, I did not see hands being clasped.
No, there was
no
right.
You got that fixed. Got that understanding now.
1:02 left. Colby Smith in control right now, but a 1-point escape would tie it up.
Smith trying to wrestle it out here. 1-point lead. Got that leg. About 40 seconds left in this third period. Potentially dangerous will be called.
Yeah, only 36 seconds. Smith has really rode this out for a long time. We'll see if he can keep it going.
Smith taking shots, but Pennington's got that leg. Might get him on his back. Gotta be careful.
But Smith got back in control here.
Careful. Smith has got it, riding it out. About 5 seconds left. And he's gonna get it done. Close it. And the buzzer will sound. Colby Smith will
Huge
escape
win
this one.
for the Cavemen, as that'll get them 3 points in that 7-6 victory. They need all the points they can get. And hey, look at us, good sportsmanship again.
There you go. Colby Smith will get the job done here for Mishawaka. They lead now. The team scores by 23 points. Not a bad place to be in.
Yeah. But you got to stay out of bad positions. Right now we're at 150. Braden Reed for Mishawaka. For Penn, it's Ryan Hall. Braden Reed, again, is at an up-and-down year. He's wrestled pretty well in some matches, not so well in others.
So he's got to be careful here. Grabbing that leg is Hall.
Yeah, but Reed's fighting it off. Only 6 matches after this one, so not a lot of time left. We are halfway through.
Got to be careful. 2 wrestlers.
And Reed's almost got it. He's just got to get that arm. He's got to circle around. There it is.
Got a 3-point takedown. Reed leads early on, 3-0.
And this is kind of a toss-up. This is an interesting spot to be in if you're the Cavemen, because both teams kind of wrestling people they don't want to wrestle at some of these weight classes.
Reed still fighting. He's got the advantage. About 45 seconds left in this first.
Well, and he's trying to turn him, but Hall's fighting that off pretty well.
just like two guys who are wrestling it out, but it's one of those matches where it doesn't look like much is happening, but they're really fighting for that position.
Especially when they're turned away from us, right? We don't see everything happening.
Now getting under 10 seconds in this first, and they'll call it stalemate.
Coach Harper saying, hey, you got 6 seconds. Get that 1 point, right? And Penn got that earlier.
Yeah.
See if they can do it again.
Reed going to try to stop that from happening. Some quick movement from Hall. And that'll do it. No 1 point escape for Hall, and they'll move on to the second. Reed goes into it leading by 3.
So it'll be Mishawaka choice, and Braden Reed's going to start in that down position. And this is where, if you're Hall, this is where you want to get some momentum. You haven't been in that top position yet this match. See if you can make something happen out of it.
Reed forcefully try to get out and get that escape. And then Hall just kind of used his lack of balance against him, got him on the ground. He's on the mat, but fighting for position here. Potentially dangerous is called.
Yeah, once you're standing up and he's got that arm like that, they're going to call that.
Gotta
And
be
that's
careful.
what I always like when the refs talk to the athlete. Say, hey, this is what was happening, and then the athletes can understand. Okay, got it.
Right, and that prevents that mistake from happening again, you know?
Yeah, Reed tried to roll out of that, but ended up in the same position he started in.
Reed trying to be careful as Hall's got that leg on him. And now Hall barely on the ground.
Yeah, and Reed's just got to slip out. If he can slip out of that, he can get at least a reversal, if not more.
Trying to take control here. Get him on his back. He flips him. And he's got him there. Got to finish the job, though. Looks like Hall's going to get out of it. Got the 2-point reversal, though.
Yeah, Braden Reed's had a really good match so far, and he had a chance to do even more, right? If he could have kept him on his back, get the near fall potential pin. As you said, pin watch, right? That's what we said.
Right, yep.
I'll tell you who
20
liked
seconds.
that call. You know who liked the pin watch call?
Who's that?
Dave Rendell.
Really?
Yeah, he did.
Man, never heard of him complimenting my commentary, but
I don't know if
appreciate it.
he liked the phrase. I know
Oh,
that.
gotcha. Okay, well,
I don't want to get too far out of him, but
that's probably smart, yeah. You got time running out here. And that's going to do it. This second period wraps up. Braden Reed in the lead here, 5-0. We talked about he's kind of had a roller coaster year, and he's really trying to make a statement here.
A lot of times these wrestlers will pick that down position to get points. Hall says, I don't want to be down there again. So he says, let's start in neutral, no points, 5-0.
Yep.
Let's see if I can make something happen.
Reed trying to fight this off. Hall, some aggressive wrestling. Got
Yeah.
the 3-point takedown, yep.
Yeah, and he's got that arm. Oh, he's going to turn him.
And they'll stop him.
They are going to get, okay, so they're going to give 2 points. So it is 5-5.
Okay, so 2 near fall, 5-5, ties it up.
5-5. It says 7-3. That is not right. 5-5.
So I'm not sure. What was the violation there? What was the
They're
whistle
saying
blown?
potentially dangerous.
Okay.
Right? So no violation. What they're saying, 3-point takedown, 2-point near fall before the potentially dangerous. And you heard the Penn fans weren't happy with the call.
Gotcha.
I'm not, listen, everything looks dangerous out there to me. So
Yeah,
I'm not
right,
gonna,
right.
I'm not going to question the refs potentially dangerous. And right now, they're figuring this out. I don't know who. It is definitely 5-5. I am so certain of that. I could not be more certain of anything in my life. Right now, it says 7-4.
It is 5-5. We've got, looks like a JV, Mishawaka JV wrestler here on the scoreboard. maybe not really too aware of what the scoreboard
Yeah,
even
and
says right now.
They
They'll
talked
fix
to
it.
Brad Harper. They're going over there. I think they gave the 2 points to the wrong team. So it should have been a 3. It's definitely a 3-point takedown. It's definitely a 2-point near fall.
Yep.
And the ref is not happy with the coaches right now. He's saying, hey, go over there. We're going to figure it out.
So once
We got a
again,
replay if they want it. I can show it
yeah,
to
we've
you.
got it here. So once again, that I didn't see the head official with the potentially dangerous. I'm assuming the other official out to the back side of the mat had it. And they got the 2 near fall. Hall did before the whistle was blown for the potentially dangerous call. We got 1:32 on the clock. That looks right.
They now say 6-5. I think it's 5-5.
I think you're right. Because we know he got that takedown.
Right.
We saw the
And
3.
and they definitely lifted up the 2.
Yes.
I'm going to go back and look here. Okay, so we're looking on this replay here.
Yep.
There's the 3-point takedown.
Yep.
And then there's the 2. Yeah, I don't know. They're going to say 6-5, though. Everybody seems to be on the same page. So 6-5 in favor of Penn. We were close.
We were close.
It was definitely not 7-4, so I definitely had that. But right now, Braden Reed has a chance with 1:20 to at least tie this game if he can get an escape. But he has not been really comfortable in this down position.
Right. Reed's got to be careful. He's got to get something here. If he can slip through, that'd be huge.
Well, and at this point, if you can just try to get out of bounds, you might get a stalling call or something, but at least you're going back to the middle in a better position. They didn't call stalling. So 1 minute, 2 seconds left. 6-5 lead for Hall of Penn. And they're looking for blood, no blood. Blood's a little bit harder to see on those dark singlets.
Right. So again, Reed in the down position. About less than a minute left in this third period. Got to be careful. Nancy Grayla's yelling.
Yeah, you want to be careful, but you also got to make something happen.
Right.
45 seconds left.
Right. It gets to a point where you're not trying to protect anything now. You got nothing to lose. You're just trying to get something to go.
Well, you don't want to get pinned.
It's a good point.
And you're
And he's trying to turn him here. Hall, he might be in trouble if Reed can keep position here. He's got to circle and get over.
and that's going to be a reversal.
So he's got it.
They haven't
2-point
called it yet,
reversal.
though, because he's still got the leg.
Yep.
He's still got the leg.
And now
There
they'll
it
give
is.
it to him.
2-point reversal, 7-6. Can
15
Reed
left.
ride this out?
Time
Uh-oh.
winding down.
Uh-oh. Reed still got it,
Got to hold on. And the buzzer
and he
will
got
sound.
it. What a win by Braden Reed. Huge victory, and that gives the Cayman 3 more points, making it 32-6.
So you talk about a come-behind victory. It shows sport of wrestling in any sport as Reed raises his fist there in victory. I mean, that's huge. If you can come behind last second, doesn't matter how the
Yep.
rest of the match went. You get that 2-point reversal. It's all that matters. And now
We are
Corey
at
Gardner.
157. Aiden Witten, a very talented wrestler for Penn, against Corey Gardner. We haven't seen a lot of him this year, but he is ready to wrestle today. Witten just looks very strong out there.
And fast. Very quick wrestler.
It almost doesn't
far.
look like these two would be at the same weight class.
I agree.
Corey Gardner trying to prove himself here tonight. Try to get in that varsity roster. Right now he's filling in. Butte and Ginter both out.
Yep.
Butte sick, Ginter hurt. So we'll see what Gardner can do here against Aiden Witten. He's holding his own. It wasn't sure at the start, but Corey
Yeah.
Gardner doing a good job so far, a minute into the first period.
He's got to be careful here just because, with the experience, Witten's got that
Yeah.
advantage.
And Gardner backs up because he doesn't want to go out of bounds. Witten's kind of backing up, though.
He
And
is.
that's not something you want to do early in the match. What a shot.
Huge shot. Got that. Trying to get that other leg. Gardner fighting it, though.
Almost got a takedown, but couldn't quite get it. Yeah, but he looked in big trouble.
He
And you're
did.
right. I mean, it was a great shot by Witten. He just got that leg and had a chance at points, but couldn't finish.
Nice little blend of, obviously, aggression, but efficiency. And that's what experienced wrestlers do. Once again, Corey Gardner holding his own, but he takes a shot there.
And he's got the leg. He's got to pull it out, though. Witten's doing a good job of fighting over the top of that. But there's only 4 seconds left.
That'll end the first period here. Scoreless. We'll move on to the second.
And I'll
Corey
tell you
Gardner.
what, he got maybe the best approval of any. Coach Steve Sandifer goes up to the edge of the mat, double thumbs up. So
That's good.
that's a good start if you are Gardner and the Cavemen. Both teams shorthanded tonight. We told you about some of the Mishawaka. Mason Henrich also not wrestling tonight. He is here, though. I don't know the Penn team quite as well. We know Vinny Freeman's not here. He's one of their best wrestlers.
Yep.
So that is going to be tough for the Penn Kingsmen. Right now, nothing.
They're fighting.
I think that's going to be a 1-point escape or a 2-point reversal. We'll see. Uh-oh, Gardner got back into it, though.
He did. He's got him on his back. Fighting for near
No
fall.
way.
Wow. Could he do it? Witten is fighting.
Yeah, Witten's going to get out of
He
this.
squirms out. He squirms, but that was a tough one.
Uh-oh,
Gardner
maybe not.
fighting again, and now he's in trouble. Gardner's got that 4,
Okay.
but Witten might have more here.
So let's go through the points here. 4 points. That
That's-
should have been 4 near fall,
For
and
Gardner.
then a 2 reversal.
So Gardner got the 4,
Yep.
the near fall, and then the 2-point reversal.
And he
giving
was
Witten.
close to getting that pin.
He'll get out of bounds. He was very close.
And I think Coach Sandifer is going to ask a question here. I don't know what way to say. I wonder how. Yeah, I think the score's right. 4-2, I feel good about.
Some of the Mishawaka fans not really happy about that call. They thought that should have been a pin.
Yeah, I think that was the. I wonder if Coach Sandifer thought there should have been a 3-point takedown, but he was already in that position. So in that top position. So Gardner has a chance here from the bottom position. Witten looked very strong once he got in control. So we'll see what Gardner can do out of this bottom position. He tried to back his way out of that. That didn't go very well, so he's going to try a different way.
He might be in trouble here. Witten trying to take control,
Yeah, Witten looks very strong.
using those legs.
Yeah, and that's going to be potentially dangerous. Anytime, if he's on all 4, right, you're good. But once he gets that handoff, they're going to call that every time.
Yep. Start again. Again, you're seeing that Witten strength. He's trying to use that leg and then attack the arms.
Yeah, look, he's got that arm up top. He's got to turn him. The problem is he's in his own way. Gardner was trying to sneak out the back, but right now Witten's got him.
He's trying to pull him here.
I'll tell you, Gardner's fighting down there still. You can see him. Oh, there's the near fall, so the count is on. And there is injury. You see him doing injury time. That is going to be a 4-point near fall, so 6-4.
We'll see here. He's got the injury timeout.
Yeah, so the trainers are thinking about coming to see him.
Looks like maybe that right shoulder, but
Mishawaka fans are not happy with the calls. I'm not sure what they wanted called, though. Okay. Trainer's coming out. He did call for injury, so I think that is important that we get it checked out.
yeah.
The real concern now, 7 seconds, you're down 7-4. They're going to clean up some blood. That blood's been there for a little bit.
Yeah.
I had workers over here pointing that out to us over saying, hey, there's blood out there. But they figured it out. It was a couple matches late, but they got it.
Yeah, they got it done.
We got some big matches coming up. Right now we're on injury time at 157. Next up will be 165. That'll be Gunnar Eby. Gunnar Eby will take you on Leo Santiago. Then 175 is a big one. Caden O'Neill, Alessio Retzlaff. So we're back. We're going to end that injury time. Gardner is ready to go. Witten is ready to go as well. Witten right now with the 3-point lead.
And we'll see what goes on here.
Only 7 seconds left in period 2.
And the buzzer will sound to end the second period. Score 7-4 in favor of Witten, who really has had quite some competition from Gardner.
So we're going to start neutral. No points awarded for that, as Gardner's going to need to make something happen here.
And he's on his back. Got to be careful here. Near fall points being counted as we speak. Gardner in big trouble.
Yeah, Witten got the 3-point takedown. He's got 4 more points in the pocket there. It is 10-4 already, and make that 14-4. There it is. So now it's about number 1, trying not to get pinned, and Gardner's in trouble now.
1:20 left.
So Gardner's going to try to ride this one out. Right now, 1:10. He's going to try not to get pinned. That's where the bonus points come into play. A good wrestler from last year, Keith Chico, down there with the team, trying to pump him up.
Yep.
Not much happening.
Two wrestlers just fighting for position here. Witten has obviously got the lead here, and now
Witten's done a good job with those fast twitch moves.
Yeah, he might
He's
have.
going to get near fall. This could end in a tech fall here if he gets the points he needs. And that's going to do it.
Yeah, he's got it. He's got the 4. He might have pinned, and he will.
And that's really what Penn needed right there. They needed those 6 points. Cut that lead, 32-12 now. I thought Corey Gardner wrestled very well.
He did.
He just didn't have enough in the tank there at the end. And this is another big one. Leo Santiago against Gunnar Eby. Gunnar Eby hasn't been able to wrestle varsity either. He's taken the place of Drew Ginter there. We'll see what happens here. Leo Santiago, a very talented wrestler. Only 5 matches left, including this one. And right off the bat, Santiago's
Nobody really. Oh, yep, never mind. Just going to say no really big shots, but there you go. Got a big shot from Eby. It's not successful there, but Santiago's got that leg.
absolutely great pick. He just got that arm down there, grabbed that foot, and said, you know what, I'm going to get these 3 points.
Yep. And Gunnar Eby really defending right now. Not really even trying to score points, trying to prevent Santiago from scoring some.
Yeah, next match is going to be key. Caveman needs some points.
Yep.
You can't win usually with 32,
Yeah.
especially when you know you've got difficult matchups at 285. You got a difficult matchup at 190, and then you have that kind of toss-up middle one, 215 with Trey Dunning, Malachi Evans. So
Yep.
Gunnar Eby's in trouble here. He's not, he hasn't been able to wrestle varsity this year. If he can stay, not get pinned, that would be huge. Right now he's fighting it off pretty well, but we're only a minute into the first period. But the next one, Caden O'Neill's really come on strong recently, so we'll see what he can do at 175. Eby does a good job there, though.
Really not too much, just fighting for position. Gunnar Eby wrestling very defensive right now. They'll go out of bounds, set up. 33 left in this first.
Well, and right here, they're going to go back neutral. Santiago said, okay, I'm better off not fighting this, just giving up the 1 point and getting 3 more or more. So 3-1 in favor of Santiago over Eby, and what a great fake out there by Santiago. Runs around, gets the 3-point takedown.
That's huge.
And now he's going to tilt. He's got the tilt. Eby gets out of it, though. They are going to give him 2, it looks like. So there's 2 points on the near fall, 8-1.
Gunnar Eby trying to decide what he's going to do here. Fighting Santiago is going to try to get the escape off before the buzzer, but it will sound and it'll end it there. We will move on.
So 8-1 is the score here. Gunnar Eby's going to start in that down position. We'll see. I think they're going to go back neutral. Yeah. So he's going to say stand him up, give him 1 point. So 8-2.
So 6-point difference between these two wrestlers right now. 165 weight class. This one is big. Gunnar Eby trying to prove himself and also score some more points for the Cavemen.
And Coach Harper saying, hey, pick him up, take him back in. You got to put him down like that. You can't throw him down. He did a good job of getting him down without throwing him. That's going to be it looks like.
He's going to have this pin, I believe.
No, Gunnar Eby.
He's going to squirm out of it. Wow.
Somehow got out of that. Okay, so that's going to be 3-point takedown, 4-point near fall.
Yep.
That makes it 15-2. Now here's the thing. There's a 1-point escape. It is now 15-3. Here's the thing. A takedown ends it.
Yep.
But you don't, if you're Penn, you really want that extra point from that pin. So maybe you don't want just a takedown. Maybe you're going for something on the back. Because if you can do it in one move, you can keep going for that pin.
Right. And
I wouldn't be surprised if Eby is called for. They're definitely out of bounds. They're going to be neutral again. And Eby's still going for it. He's not giving up out there. And Eby gets the leg. That's a big shot there.
That is. How was Santiago defended, though?
Yeah, Santiago is just such a strong wrestler. Look at him flatten out there. Really just trying to get Eby's. And Eby's got to be careful. He's leaning a little bit if they're going to call stalemate. Nothing really happening there.
They'll set up in neutral. Gunnar Eby really has to take some shots here and fast. 15 seconds left in the second period. You want to end it with something. Don't give Santiago that whole third period to do whatever he wants.
Well, and you can see Santiago doesn't want to get the takedown.
Yeah.
Because he wants to get the pin.
And that'll end the second period here.
This is an interesting little thing here, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to get the takedown.
Because you want that extra point. And, I mean, Harper coaching from the side of the mat here. And, I mean, it's smart.
Well, and now here's what you want. Now he's going to go neutral.
Yep.
Which is going to be 1 more point. And now you can get the takedown because the takedown doesn't make it a 15-point lead. Now it only make it 14.
Yeah.
And that's huge because if you're Santiago, you can get the takedown and you can go for the pin.
A lot of bounds here, reset. So, yeah, now he's got some breathing room.
You don't see this very often, though.
Right, yeah.
Right? Like, usually you're like, okay, I can get a takedown. Let me get these points. And you've seen Santiago have many chances now to get those, and he hasn't been able to. And now Eby's in trouble.
Yeah, Eby, this might be it for him. Referee looks. And that's the pin.
And that is tough as a Mishawaka fan. Santiago was going for it the whole time. He couldn't get it. Eby fought it off, and then just at the last period here, couldn't fight it off anymore. 6 points, and now you're looking at a 14-point lead for the Cavemen. 4 matches to go.
So this is when it starts to become crunch time. Cavemen, you know, that cushion has kind of disappeared a little bit. You
Yeah.
got to make sure you win a few more
Well,
matches.
and like I said, you're not feeling confident maybe at 285. You haven't, for 2 years now, had much success there. 190, you've got a brand new wrestler who hasn't wrestled a lot of varsity in Hoover. Trey Dunning's a great wrestler, but he's going up against a great one himself. So here, Caden O'Neill facing off against Retzlaff.
So they'll go out of bounds, set up neutral. Just 16 seconds into this one. Caden O'Neill, also member of the football team, starting fullback for the Cavemen.
And Caden O'Neill, 175, uses his strength and his speed. We know he's fast. We know he's strong, but he is not tall. You can see it right there.
Yep.
Retzlaff has definitely got the height and length advantage, which is a huge one. You can go for those picks a little bit easier.
Really, this is when it gets kind of fun to watch. Got that leg.
Yeah, Retzlaff did a good job not just getting the leg, but making him stay in bounds. O'Neill's got great balance. We saw it all football season.
And it gets that leg.
Yep.
3-point takedown, and they'll call it out of bounds, so they'll reset.
Yeah, and it just is a matter of time. Retzlaff he's got that length, got that height, and he's able to sweep that leg out, get Caden O'Neill down, get the 3 points. And this is where Caden O'Neill's strength comes into play. I don't know that you can keep him down very long.
I don't think so.
So 1 point escape there, 3-1. And this is, you see O'Neill trying to go for that leg. What a throw!
Wow, he might have it. Keep him on his shoulder, getting that near fall. The count goes on. He might have a pin here if he keeps that shoulder down.
There it is.
And he's got it. Caden O'Neill gets it done. First period.
What a throw. I mean,
wow.
there was almost nothing there, and he just countered through and able to get the 6-point pin, and that's huge for the Cavemen. A 20-point lead. The only way you can lose is if you're giving up a lot of points.
Right.
And that's where you got to be careful here. Hoover now going up against, I think it's one of the Evans. Let's see. Yeah, Caleb Evans and Tommy Hoover. 38-18 lead for the Cavemen. And it might really come down to these it's definitely coming down to these last 3, but definitely the next match with Malachi Evans, Trey Dunning.
Hoover, not somebody you see too often. Getting the varsity nod this year. We'll see how he wrestles against one of the Evans brothers here. And nobody really going crazy here, just kind of sizing each other up. And we've got a shot.
Hoover fought it off. A good job there. We haven't seen Hoover wrestle. He goes for the leg. He can't get it. Now he's on his back.
He's in trouble. We might have a quick one here. He keeps those shoulders down, and we've got a pin. That one's big.
Yeah, they needed that. 6 points. 38-24.
42 seconds in, Evans gets the pin there over Hoover. And this is when it starts to get interesting. You know, we talked about how it might not be as explosive as a matchup because of the lack of health. Now we're seeing a close one here.
Well, and this is where both teams are missing people, right? Vinny Freeman is a big loss for Penn. Drew Ginter, a big loss. Isaiah Butte, a big loss for Mishawaka. But this is the biggest one of the night.
Yeah.
I mean, the 6 points that Brody Blevins got was huge. But when you get late up 14,
Malachi Evans and Trey Dunning, two very, very successful wrestlers here.
you know, I did my math wrong. I don't think Mishawaka can lose. 2 pins would only be 12 points.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So Mishawaka may have wrapped up this dual meet, but now it's all about pride. And Dunning thought about doing something, but this time he goes for the leg.
Dunning's got it here. We'll see what he does with it. Tries to throw. Evans with the balance.
And all the coaches are telling him to move him back in. No, they're going to call out of bounds. No points.
So they won't give him the 3 here.
Well, and this is where the coach, every single coach from Mishawaka was saying, hey, pull him back in, pull him back in. And the official over there telling the Mishawaka wrestlers they got to sit down. They get a little hyped, you know?
Yeah, they do.
It's been a fun night of wrestling, both teams having some success. Right now, the Cavemen look like they're going to win. I mean, I guess there is a way you lose. Unsportsmanlike penalties, stuff like that do happen.
Dunning.
He's at least, yeah, there he goes.
He's got that 3-point takedown. He almost,
Yeah, so Trey Dunning, he almost got some near fall and
maybe a pin.
yeah, but he was able to get at least 3 points out of it, which was huge. And this is where, you know, Trey Dunning has been wrestling 215 all year. He placed 7th in Al Smith, but sometimes those draws, I know Trey wasn't happy with how he wrestled, especially in that wall with C-Match losing by 2. I think he thinks he could have done better, and this is where he's trying to prove it. Against a 4th place finisher from Al Smith.
Right. Clock winding. That'll end the first period here. Malachi Evans trails by 3. Trey Dunning has shut him out in that first period.
Only one more match left after this at 285. So this is 215. Last match will be 285. It often doesn't happen this way. Usually you don't start at 106. Usually you start somewhere else. What a move right off the bat.
So he's got that 2-point reversal.
I mean, that was one of the fastest reversals you'll ever see.
Yeah, that was quick.
And Evans lets him up for the 1-point escape.
So now a 2-point match is what we've got on our hands. Evans trailing.
Dunning wearing that shoulder harness, it looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's been wearing that all season or not. Trey Dunning, one of the star football players on defense, on the defensive line, had a great season for the Mishawaka Cavemen, who had a great season overall. The Cavemen beat Penn this year. That was a big win in football.
And I mean, making it all the way to semi-state, that's a pretty big accomplishment for the Caveman football team. And Evans, big shot on Trey Dunning. Trey Dunning working Evans. Got him on his back. 3 on the takedown and 2 near fall. So that'll make it 9-2.
Yeah, what a really good move there by Dunning.
This is really big here from Mishawaka. You know, that sour taste of not being invited to the team state and going into this one without some guys feeling like they're the big, heavy underdogs, and they go ahead and get the win here. Presumably they're going to win here. And Dunning trying to seal the deal with this one over Evans. On the edge of the mat, riding out the time, and that's going to do it in that second. Score 9-2 in favor of the Mishawaka wrestler Trey Dunning as we go into the third period. Malachi Evans has top position here. Trey Dunning, he gets that 1-point escape. If he slips out of this, he has an 8-point lead. And he's going to give it to him. Evans is going to let him loose.
Yeah, an 8-point lead's huge because even a disastrous takedown, 4-point near fall, you're still in the lead.
And wow, Evans, huge 3-point takedown here, charging back.
And I think Coach Sandefur is saying that should have been out of bounds. He wasn't happy about something.
So now a 5-point match. A minute 15 left in this third, and they'll go out of bounds now. The official will call it. And Coach Sandiford has something he wants to say.
As we have a quick time, as Coach Sandiford's having a question over there. Girls basketball over at Penn. Penn did come out victorious against Mishawaka, 63-12. We will see the Mishawaka girls basketball team back here on Thursday and then again on Saturday. And the girls basketball season comes to an end quite a bit sooner. You see Trey Dunning there. Nice close-up of him. And there's a discussion here. So Coach Sandiford might have had a point. He's still standing over there waiting. I'm sure if he gets his way, Coach Brad Harp will go over there and try to get his way next.
Right. It's a back and forth, you know. This rivalry means a lot. And now for Penn, it's pride, it's dignity going out of this dual match and getting on the bus home, feeling good.
They're going to take away the takedown. They have changed the score to 10-2.
So now, like you said, Coach Brad Harper now over there trying to figure out.
That's right.
What he can do.
And he's not happy about something. I think he pointed at Coach Sandiford and said, like, you got your way this time. I don't know. That's a confusing. We're going to go neutral, 10-2. So 1:24 left. Trey Dunning kind of in control right now, but he's got to be careful. But sometimes being too careful hurts you too.
Right. And so Evans is going to get that 1-point escape there. And they're going to set up after going out of bounds in the neutral. Shots being taken by Evans. Dunning counters.
And that's 3 more points.
So now he leads by 10.
Evans trying to roll out of that, cannot. Dunning's really got, there's still time left, but as long as he stays off his back, he's got a pretty easy win.
It's just about finishing here. Dunning trying not to let him up. They go out of bounds, and they won't give him the 1-point escape. So they'll set up again. 34 left in this third period. Trey Dunning really just trying to make sure he doesn't give anything. And whoa, Malachi Evans.
Yeah, I wasn't even looking. I was looking at something else.
A bump there, and even Trey Dunning shrugs his shoulders like no unsportsmanlike.
Well, and here's the thing. They talk to the guys, and then we're wrestling. And this is a good position if you're Dunning. You don't want to be in bad positions. And right now, listen, a reversal, not the end of the world, right? 2 more points, 13-5. And that's what the coaches are saying. Hey, you got to ride it out a little bit. Now 14-5, and there's only 7 seconds left.
Trey Dunning riding it out here.
And that's going to be 1-point stalling, but it won't matter.
And wow, some shots taken afterwards. And Trey Dunning pointing to the sideline. Let's see if they even shake hands here, booing throughout the cave. That'll do it.
A big win for Trey Dunning.
Huge.
14-6. That's going to give the Cayman, I think, 4 points. Yep, 42-24. And now it's our last final event of the night, 285. It'll be Mikel Ajadi of Penn against Tristan Stevens of Mishawaka.
So they get after it and go out of bounds early on.
Tristan Stevens, he's been trying to get into this varsity lineup. He is again tonight, which is great. Can he make something happen out of it? I talked to some of the coaches. They say he wrestles so well. He learns, he listens, he's so good. And now he just needs the instinct, right? That kind of, he needs that instinct to say, I'm going to go after it and get it. He's given up quite a bit of size, too.
Yeah. Go out of bounds there. Neither Ajadi or Stevens really taking big chances here. Kind of just feeling each other out. And now Stevens, he's got that head.
Now he's got the leg.
But Ajadi,
Sometimes
like,
those leg shots are so hard, though, because you go for those legs in these heavyweights, and then they're able to use their weight to get out of those things.
it's big. We got that three-point takedown for Ajadi. Ajadi's got that leg, trying to work through.
This often happens at these 285.
Right, yeah, you got, the fighting for position looks even
Yeah.
more like, maybe what somebody that doesn't know too much about wrestling will call stalling, but they're really fighting. It's just that weight, it plays a huge factor, and that's why weigh-ins are so important.
Yep. And Ajadi's just in total control right now. Stevens can't even move his arm. You see his arms just all the way out there. You can see both of his arms in the same position. That's not what you ever want.
I know, we trickling down at the time, and the buzzer will sound. We move on to the second period. Ajadi leads by 3. Stevens scoreless in that first period.
And it's been a really fun, exciting match. You kind of wish both teams were at more full strength.
Yeah.
Both teams missing some really good wrestlers.
Ajadi trying to take those hips and drag him down, and he will. 3-point takedown.
Yeah, what a great move there to just throw him down.
Trying to circle around, get those shoulders.
He's going to get the near fall. Can he get a pin? It's going to be hard to get that pin. He's got to get that arm out. There it is.
And he might have this.
Yeah.
He's got it.
Good job by Ajadi getting that pin for the Kingsmen, but it will not be enough as the Cavemen will come out victorious. 42-31. I don't know. You never know anymore. They're going to shake hands here, and we're going to get out of here shortly. But big night for the Cavemen, 42-31 victory over the Penn Kingsmen. It's not always been the case that they have been able to get the victory, but tonight they do, as the Cavemen win by 11. What do you think, Daniel?
Well, it was exactly what we thought it'd be, It was a really fun matchup, yet another one, and yet another sport between the Penn Kingsmen and Mishawaka Cavemen. Maybe a little bit more exciting than we were anticipating going into it due to the lack of health on both sides and things like that. Just availability is tough. Especially in the sport of wrestling. Only sport with the blood time.
Yeah,
but
right. Well, blood time and injury time.
Injury time,
it's a crazy, and you get into positions all the time that you're like, how do you even get out of that?
Right.
You're watching it, you're paying attention, and we're up here like, I don't want to be down there doing that. Like, that's not what I want to be doing.
And this is a sport where, like, if you see a guy dominating, it's like extremely remarkable, even more so than maybe some other sports, just because of the toll it's taking on their body mentally and physically, and the stuff you have to do to dominate in the sport of wrestling, can't even imagine. But you know what? The Cavemen go out, kind of defy the odds here, face adversity, persevere, and they get the win by 11 in their place. So, I mean,
and they had kind of two big turning points. Obviously, the first one, I think, was that Will Mason match.
Yeah.
I think he was in a little bit of trouble, and he was able to not just win, but win and get the points, right? Like, he was able to come out big, and that was a huge match for the Cavemen. I think even though the match was essentially over, that Trey Dunning match was huge. That was a piece of saying, hey, I'm here not just to win tonight, but to win in the tournament, right? And that's a big win for Trey Dunning and the Cavemen, and they got off to such a good start. And then obviously, I think we talked about it beforehand, that Brody Blevins, Brady Harper won.
Yeah.
That was close. If Harper doesn't get hurt, I think that's close to the end. And that's a big swing. Even if Blevins wins, gets 3 points for 6, I think that was a huge match, obviously, for the Cavemen.
Yeah, and huge. I mean, just obviously points wise, but momentum wise. If Harper wins that instead and it goes the other way, he doesn't get hurt. Maybe Evans doesn't lose.
Right.
And maybe
Right.
some other things happen. Those factors is huge. And that those turning points, like you said, the Will Mason and the Brody Blevins are the two that stick out to me
Yeah.
as well. And that's why the Cavemen got the 11-point lead, I feel.
And then again, we've hit on it a number of times. It's too bad the teams weren't more healthy
Right.
and here, right? If you didn't get to see Drew Gintu, who's had such a great year. Isaiah Butte hasn't wrestled for a couple of years, and he's
Yeah.
come out strong this year.
Yes.
Vinny Freeman not wrestling for Penn, like he's one of a state contender, right, to place in state. So it's too bad you didn't get to see that, but we had a fun, exciting night. Cavemen come out victorious, 42-31,
Yep.
and some big wins across the board for the Mishawaka Cavemen to get a big dual win when you don't have many dual matches here at home.
Yeah, another big thing that I saw that I was surprised at, not sure why, maybe an injury as well. Bodie Brown, the heavyweight, somebody who would be wrestling instead of Ajadi, I would think. Somebody who performed pretty well in the state tournament last
Yeah.
year. He didn't wrestle tonight.
Yeah, that part didn't end up mattering.
Yeah.
They still got 6 points out of that
They
match,
did.
but still, yeah. And,
Yeah.
and you wonder if that's injury related or sickness related, or hey, we're just going to save him tonight.
Right, and it happens. I mean, Vinny Freeman not being here, like you said, it's factors that, like, if the whole team was healthy, you can't help but to think maybe the result would have been different tonight.
Right.
So,
True.
yeah, I believe that's going to do it. We'll wrap it up here. Final score here in this dual meet, between the Penn Kingsmen and the Mishawaka Cavemen. Final will be 42-31 in favor of the Mishawaka Cavemen here in the Cave. It's going to do it. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night. Wednesday night will be our first school board meeting of the calendar year, and the night following that will be Elkhart Christian Academy as the Cavemen girls will take them on and see if they can snap that losing streak that they just added to tonight with Penn. So I think that's going to do it. Thank you very much for viewing here tonight.